Yeah.
Okay.
We lit. You on the red couch with Burn.
Yes.
And we sitting here with Coach Coco.
AKA Mack Mama.
That's right, Mack Mama. And you know, this is sort of like heaven sent, okay? I swear this is one of my best friends. You don't even understand how much you mean to me. She means so much to me. So yeah, you on the red couch with Burn, like I said. This is Mack Mama, baby.
AKA
you know what I'm saying?
Coach Coco.
Coach Coco, and you know, like I said, one of my best friends. Actually, she could be the best friend out of all, because the rest of y'all alienated me, but we ain't gonna talk about that right now. You feel me? But I know y'all shocked right now to see this lovely young lady sitting on the red couch with all this red on. Okay?
And it's crazy how I just popped up, had red on, and I'm like, yo, Burn, we could do the interview you always wanted to do.
It's a fact. That's a fact. And now she's here.
Yes.
And
it's divine intervention.
Y'all gotta understand something though. This is an esteemed book writer, okay? This
Author, entertainer, motivational speaker, life coach.
Okay.
Amongst other things, Brooklyn's finest.
Why do they call you Brooklyn's finest?
Well, you have to read Tales of Original Bad Girl by Mack Mama.
All right, so give us a little bit. What was that book about?
Well, that was my first book, and that's my life story. It was a memoir, and it's about why I am considered one of Brooklyn's finest, because it's a few, but I'm one of them. And I love to hold that title because I feel like, you know, everybody talks about Brooklyn, but there's an old Brooklyn that I think that needs the reverence and the proper respect. This new Brooklyn, salute, but the old Brooklyn is where I'm from. That's my era.
That's right. And you know what? A part of old Brooklyn has Biggie written all over it. Correct?
Yes.
I mean, he's not the top, but what I'm saying is a lot.
He was a great entertainer in our era, but I'm talking about old Brooklyn.
Okay, before Biggie.
Way before Biggie, baby. Okay. I'm talking about this. Brooklyn
so your mama
was legendary. No, not even. I ain't going back that far. I'm taking it to my era, but I'm just saying Brooklyn was legendary. Well, I'm 51 years old.
You still
proud of it.
Hey.
Let me tell you why I'm proud of it, because
you don't look it.
My best friend's sister, love of my life, didn't make it. She died at 49 years old, Queenie, and she was legendary. Queenie from Brooklyn. So for me to still here to be sitting here now, I don't take that as a ordinary feat, because there's a lot of legendary people from my era that did not make it.
What are some of those legendary people? Like, can you name a couple of those legendary
there's
people?
so many. I mean, from my projects alone, I'm from Fort Greene Projects. So, you know, we have a lot of legendary guys. 50 Cent, the original 50 Cent. It's so many. Killer Ben. It's so many. Rap, my baby Rap, God bless him. He just passed away a couple of years ago. He did 30 years, came home, got about 5 years in, and then passed away. But there's so many legends from my era, from my hood, that aren't here. I'm just talking about my hood. The whole Brooklyn period, I can go on and on and on. But I mean, God bless the dead, Red, Little Sean, her sister. She passed away even way before Red passed away. But there's so many Shauna from my projects, that Queenie, like I said, that aren't here now. So I'm not going to be here acting like I'm just here. No, I'm happy to be here, because a lot of really legendary people didn't make it. And I'm 51 years old. I like to think that I'm still representing, because I'm still representing.
Crazy. On that topic a little bit.
Yes.
There is a lot of young folks, and I call you young too, because 50 is young to me.
Okay. I like that.
There's a lot of 50-year-olds right now passing away.
Baby, don't let me get on. I don't care what nobody say. I believe that
is the reason
why people are dropping 2 and 3 years later.
Because this is ridiculous.
With no explanation. And I don't even want to go into that, but
no, we're going to get into it, because one of your books actually is dealing with death.
Well, yes. How to Survive the Loss of a Loved One. Right. That is one of my books, written by Coach Coco. Let me break the Coach Coco Mack Mama thing down so people don't get confused. So I wrote 2 books underneath Mack Mama: Tales of Original Bad Girl, which is my life story, and Daisy Jones, which is my first fiction. Those books Mack Mama, that you can find them on Amazon, anywhere books are sold. And I'm also going to include them on my website, CoachCocoCares.com. They're not there yet because exclusively on my website, you can find my 3 new books, which are self-help books. Erotic Stories that will ignite sparks in your relationship.
Okay, we're going to talk about that.
Yes, we are. By Coach Coco. How to Survive the Loss of a Loved One. How to Survive Incarceration from a Woman's Perspective by Coach Coco. And all 3 of those books you can also find on audiobooks and hear me telling my stories. And telling, and reading, being the narrator of my books.
All right. So we're going to go back a little bit.
Okay.
Because we already spoke a little bit about it. Tales of Original Bad Girl.
Yes.
We got to start from the beginning. I know you got 3 dope books that just came out, but we got to start from the beginning. Tales from the Original Bad Girl.
So let me switch to Mack Mama.
Okay, she got to switch.
Okay.
No, bring it back. The Tales from the Original Bad Girl is something that I remember. Because I know my name is in that book.
Okay.
You feel me?
Okay.
That book... And one thing that stuck out in that book to me is something that you did that I know you're not proud of, to land you some jail time.
Okay.
And you spent some years in jail, about 15, correct?
13.
Well,
Not at one stretch. Not at one stretch. 13 years combined of the jail time that I've done since I was 16 years old.
Okay, so what did you do
15.
What did you do at 15 to land you in jail?
Okay, I was an infamous booster from Brooklyn.
Okay.
Hustler. I graduated from boosting.
Boosting was the thing.
It was a big thing in Brooklyn. If you was from my era, the girls in Brooklyn got busy. We got money. The guys would go to Midtown, snatch the bags, get the jewelry, get the money. The guys would sell drugs. The guys would stick up. That was the 3 main things that you did if you were a male. You stuck up. You was a stick-up kid, you was a drug dealer, or you was going to Midtown and you was snatching money bags. But if you was a female, you was doing one of 2 things, picking pockets or boosting. And I happened to be one of the elite boosters in Brooklyn. It was a lot of them.
She had the Frank Lucas fur on and every damn picture
I represented my part of my hood, Fort Greene.
Wow. So Fort Greene was a big part of the whole boosting thing at that time.
No, it wasn't. It had nothing to do with boosting. It just that was a project from Brooklyn, and that was where I was from. There's so many notable projects: Fort Greene, Gowanus.
Marcy.
Shout out to my best friend and my sister Diane. She was another, infamous, legendary. One of the boosters. God bless the dead. Lorraine, L.A. She's another one that's not here. Infamous. That was one of my partners. Her sister Peaches. It was a few. Every project had their section.
Hey, y'all don't even know. I know people like that. I'm telling you. We put this clip out.
Every projects had their section. The girls that would represent and that got money. That we got money.
So after 16,
okay,
when was the next time you ended up behind the pen? Do you remember? That age?
Oh yeah, well 16 was my first time doing a city bid. Okay. I went to Rikers Island. I did maybe like 8 months on Rikers Island, and from Rikers Island I was sent to Nassau County.
You got any fights? You got any fights on Rikers?
Oh yes, you got to read my book. It's so much information in that book. So if y'all want to hear
saying,
about,
did you have to slap the hell out of somebody on Rikers?
Yes, I had to beat the shit out of. Yes. But that was it was an incident that stemmed from the street. That incident, and I speak about it in detail.
So a lot of things can happen.
A girl that I had to clap in the street, she came to jail, so now we start warring on Rikers Island. It wasn't that I was getting pressed by anybody on the island. Yeah, I was popular. I was good. I was getting money. Back then, Rikers Island, you could wear your clothes, your furs, your jewelry. I was selling drugs.
Walk around with a chain.
I was that chick on Rikers Island.
I heard you could walk around with your chain.
Yes, I'm talking about that era. You know what I'm saying? You can wear your jewelry. I had my furs, everything on Rikers Island. It was a country club. It wasn't prison.
I'm not
when
walking
I
around
was
with
there.
no chain on the island.
Yeah,
it was
unbelievable.
But,
like when I think about the things we got away with in my era, it's just it's unparalleled. It's never going to happen again. It's unbelievable. It almost sounds like hogwash, but I'm telling you, I lived it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I was on the island, it was a country club.
Yeah, my brother got like 26 convictions, my little brother. When I see him, I be like, sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name. Because this nigga keep going back. Well, like, do you like that shit?
Listen, if he was going to jail in the times of in the 80s, the 70s, 80s, 90s.
No, not that time.
Okay. Mm-mm. Then it was fun. It wasn't prison. It wasn't restrictive. It was not a bad thing to do. Back then, that's where you got your chops.
That's funny you say that.
That's
because
crazy.
I feel like that's how the kids, the younger folks thinks now. I think that they...
But they're not, it's not sweet now. So I have no clue why they want to go to jail now.
But it seems like that's what they want to do. It seems like they think they can go to jail and come out with a story and get big. Right? What you see is happening on the internet now.
Maybe.
A lot of people are coming home.
But while we're talking about jail, may I just interrupt so I can, before I forget this, how to survive incarceration from a woman's perspective. If, like you said, you know any of these young females that are catching cases, going to jail, and they need to know how to carry themselves and get through that turbulent time in their lives, this is the book that I suggest that you get.
All right, let me get one jewel.
By Coach Coco.
Let me get one jewel, Coach Coco. Give me one jewel on how a woman can survive incarceration and work on it when she comes home. Give me one jewel.
Well, I would suggest, like I did, I wrote the majority of my books incarcerated. So whatever talent that you have, hone it. That is the time when you have uninterrupted to really hone in on a talent, come up with a plan, and really do something positive and get ready for coming home. Get ready for your release by being incarcerated.
Are there a lot of people that just sit around and do nothing while they locked up?
Yes, and it's unproductive, but you can make that time productive. I wrote all 3 of these books in prison on a 45-day bid.
Wow. What?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right.
I wrote all 3 of these books in 45 days. I never came out my cell. I didn't go in the day room to play cards and watch TV. I stayed in my cell. I honed in and I wrote.
Wow.
So that would be one of the biggest jewels that I can give anybody that has to do time. Make that time work for you. Come home and make money from that time.
Make that time
That's what
work.
I did. Don't sit in there playing cards, dominoes, watching videos. Go in your cell and lock in. And whatever, if you're an artist, write. If you have a business mind, make a business plan. If you are in there and you have a lot of time, go to the law library and get out of jail. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the biggest jewels.
Go learn yourself.
That's a place where I can't write now because it's too much going on. I have too many distractions in the free world. I wrote my best books in prison. That's the biggest jewels I can give anybody.
That's the biggest jewel we can give you. I need to
biggest
get it together.
jewels.
Get it together. Now that don't mean go get locked up.
Yeah, that don't mean catch a bid. That don't mean. But if you happen to be a hustler, you know how they say scammers. If you're a scammer and you gotta lay down, then baby, this is the time when you reinvent yourself.
Right.
You know how many times I reinvented myself? I went from Mack Mama to rapper because I used to rap. That's how we met.
Yeah.
You know, if we touch on that, that's how we met.
Right.
We both rapped.
Right.
And I have music out on iTunes now. If you put in Mack Mama, you'll hear my music. It's a soundtrack to Tales of Original Bad Girl. It's self-titled Mack Mama. It's on iTunes. It's on anywhere you can get music.
All
you put an MACK dash MA not dash but space, because I noticed you have to space it. So Mack Mama MAMA, and you'll come up and you'll hear my music. So I reinnovated myself so many times. I went from Mack Mama the rapper to Mack Mama the author to Mack Mama the motivational speaker. You can see some of my motivational speakings on YouTube. Then I switched over into Coach Coco.
Let me ask you a little bit about the re-innovation, because now she said re-innovation. Y'all ain't even get that. But is that like something that you need to do? Do you have to
reinvent yourself. You have to. I don't care what stage of life you're in. Always reinvent yourself, especially if you feel like you're in a rut, if you feel like you're stuck. You can reinvent yourself the next day. That's why I love tomorrows.
I'm going to agree with that, because I reinvented myself so many damn
You're the
times.
master
I feel
of
like
reinvention.
Y'all see all these cameras, everything, all of this stuff has always been in the works, but there's so many things that you can do with the things that you invest in. Okay, a lot of people don't even know I invest in stocks. I do everything, right? And my future is going to be bright. My baby's future is going to be bright, but that's all a part of the re-innovation.
That's
okay?
right.
So I second that. And we don't want to stay on jail for too long, but I need to know, what was the next age? So you said 16, and then did you have a 20-year-old thing?
16 I did a year, and then when I was 19, that's when I did it, the 1.5 to 4.5, and I did 3.5 years off of that bid. Then there was the little skitties in between. Yes,
but there was one time when you, I'm gonna have to, sorry to interrupt you, but there was one time when you shot your friend in the ass.
No,
I don't know.
My friend?
Or somebody.
I shot, you talking about my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend?
Somebody.
The
ass, same shit.
I shot about 4 or 5 people.
Next to each other.
But it was always because they transgressed on me. I'm not no bully, and I'm not no tough guy. But if you fuck with me, I'm going to fuck with you. It's just as simple as that. It's the law of nature.
We almost got into it.
Yeah,
that's how we
met. It's the law of nature. You know what I mean? Now I'm a mature woman. Right. I deal with people and their anger issues. I've conquered mine. I'm a life coach. But we're talking about 20, 30 years ago. I had a really bad temper, and I did not play with people because I looked so innocent. Like, even now, I would take off my glasses, but this was an impromptu interview, and I don't have any makeup on. So I have to look, fabulous. Right. But I feel like I always looked like I didn't belong in the hood. You know what I'm saying? Because I actually didn't. You know what I mean? I was raised...
That's a fact.
In a suburban neighborhood. I ran to the hood to be with my mother. All of this is in my book. I don't want to get too much in it, because I wanted to be with my mom in Fort Greene, and I just fell in love with street life. But I was a studious young girl. I was a valedictorian of my junior high school. I was very, very intelligent. I went to special educational classes, but I chose the streets. I wasn't raised in the hood. I don't have that poverty story. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't eating cereal with water and roaches. I don't know nothing about that. I grew up in a great neighborhood in the 90s. My godparents raised me. My mom was a drug addict. My father was in prison. My sister and I was raised by 2 lovely individuals that were church-going people.
So they had money.
And they were middle-class people, and they gave us a wonderful life. I was introduced to art.
Did you go to church, though?
Yes, I was in church 4 times a week. My godmother was an elder in the church.
That wasn't a conflict for you, like being in church?
Before. I'm talking about when I was a child. I ran to the streets at 14. Okay. That's when I left that upbringing and went and got introduced to the hood and the street life. Street life is the only life I know. Street life. I fell in love with the streets.
Yo,
I was bonkers
I ain't
for
gonna
the
lie,
streets.
man. I'm group home material, so I've been in a group home from 15 to 21, or 20, and I couldn't do the streets. I just didn't like it.
I loved it.
But it was a part of what I was doing but I just didn't know that was what I was doing. I didn't know.
I wish now in retrospect that I wouldn't have loved the streets and that I would, because I should have been a judge right now. Right. I should have been a congresswoman. I mean, I'm telling you, like I chose a life that took me into such a downward spiral, but at the same time, I met some fabulous people, childhood friends, because I have a very small circle. I'm still best friends with people that I know from 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Because you've always been real.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of people in my circle, so they're from that street life. You understand what I'm saying? But also, I have my child, my daughter, my ex-husband was a street person. My new husband is a street guy, but he has reinvented himself.
Okay, yeah, you on the red couch with Bern, and we were sitting here having a whole bunch of stories about some of the things that Mama has been through, Mack Mama, Coach Coco has been through in the past, and like, we don't stick on those things too, but we was just getting to the point where we were talking about marriage, okay, and how important marriage is, right? Yeah. Is marriage important?
Well, marriage I'm not going to say marriage, but finding somebody that's your soulmate and locking in with them is very important. Now, whether you decide to get married is one thing, because I know plenty of people that's married, but they don't have that unity. They might not have that loyalty. So I'm not going to say marriage is important. I'm going to say finding your person, and whether they are free or incarcerated, because in my case, my person is incarcerated.
How is it like dealing with somebody that's locked up? Because
well, I did a bit before with my ex-husband, so I'm like, this is no big deal to me. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My husband now, King Tut, the legendary from East New York, he's been down 28 years, and God willing, he's about to come home. And it's been a breeze. I love him, so I'm gonna lock in with him.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel hyped too at the same time, because I got King Tut's wife sitting right here next to me, bro.
Okay.
You feel me?
You know, it's funny when you say that, because I'm so used to being Mack Mama, right? You know what I'm saying? AKA Coach Coco. But Mack Mama, you know, Natoka, my government name, and my names hold weight on its own. So when people refer to me, I started calling myself Queen Tut. Oh. I'm Queen Tut now.
Queen Tut.
Yeah. So now I got another. We was talking about evolution and reinventing yourself. So now I've reinvented myself one more time.
How does that feel though? Like, how does it feel?
It feels remarkable. You know why? Because I have to keep my baby's name positively ringing. That's right. Because there's a lot of old
negative stories,
regurgitated negative stories about him on YouTube, and it's just it bothers me, because the man has reinvented himself. He's not that same dude from 30 years ago.
And if you see his smile, I ain't meet him yet, but damn, I seen a picture and the way he's cheesing, I said, yo, who y'all talking about?
I am Mack Mama. I post all my baby's pictures on I am Mack Mama on Instagram, and he's a really intelligent, brilliant, positive individual. Yes, he was the bad guy back in the days, but now, today, that man is amazing. He's an amazing human being, and when he comes home, he's about to do some really positive, great things for the community.
What do you think, or not even what do you think, but if you know some of the things that he will be getting into when he comes home?
Oh, he's going to be getting into philanthropy, motivational speaking for the youth.
And you think we're going to get a book?
I don't know if we'll do a book, because
I think you're going to have to encourage
I know it's definitely a movie coming.
Oh, a movie?
Yeah, it's definitely a movie. Everything's already in motion, baby. But like I said, he's going to tell his story the way it should be told. It's a lot of people that keeps using his name for clicks and likes, and it really annoys me, and I just want another perspective to be shown of this man, because he's not that old dude anymore.
How did y'all meet?
They talk about.
How did y'all meet?
Oh, I wrote about that in my book, Tales of Original Bad Girl.
Let me get a little snippet.
I met him in 1991, and his partner at the time, God bless the dead Nubs, was my homeboy, and he had just came home. Tut had just came home from doing a bid, and he introduced us. And when I seen this man, he looked like the most gorgeous, godlike man I had ever seen. He was militant. He had on it. Yes, it was just like, I felt like the light shine on him. We was at the Galaxy Diner, which is a legendary diner in East New York. Yeah, they closed it down. It was infamous.
You don't know nothing about the Galaxy.
Yeah, it was infamous in East New York, and when I seen him, I just knew one day that man would be mine. I promise you. And this was 30 years ago.
30 years
ago. And we had, we just became partners. We became partners, and we did a lot of stuff together. And I always tried my best to impress him and be this little gangster tough guy, so he can, look at me and,
was he trying to just like,
no, he's very respectable. Back then, he was so unique, because he wasn't like all the guys that I knew from the hood. He was very respectable to me. He always held me down when I needed any type of artillery or any type of, protection, or any type of, help in any matter of the underground. That was my go-to guy.
Well, they say marriage is a piece of paper, and I feel like in your situation, you don't even need the married title, because it's a piece of paper, because it's kind of like y'all already had that connection.
We got soul ties. Right, that's my soulmate. That's my partner in life.
Let's talk. Speaking of soul ties, a lot of people don't believe in soul ties. Like, oh, what's a soul tie?
Well, I believe, what I interpret a soul tie is that I actually believe that him and I were together in another lifetime.
That's a soul tie?
I believe that's why it's so strong when you meet that person and you feel like this is my person, this is who I was meant to be with. It's because you was meant to be with them. You were already with them. And each lifetime y'all followed each other.
Quantum
physics. That's just how I feel.
Quantum
I really
physics.
feel like that. Because the love that I have for this man is unexplainable. You know what I'm saying? It carried on.
I ain't gonna lie. Never in my life since I've known you for the last 15 years or so, I never heard you speak like this about.
Bro, I was with women for 15 years, for 20 years of my life. I was with women. I was not with men. Right. Anybody that knows me knows that I was with women.
I know that.
You know what I mean? So for me to at this age, 51 years old, to just shift. It's like shocks people. Like they're like, how the hell did this happen? They don't, because this is my soul mate.
I wasn't shocked at all.
I was born for this man. I was born to be with this man. You know what I mean? And shout out to everybody I've ever been with in my life. My ex-wife, my other lovers that I've been with on the female side. Those were amazing people in my life. We're still friends. I love those women.
Say, what's better, I will men or women?
It has nothing to do with that. This is a soul thing.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? This doesn't have nothing to do with sex or sexuality. This is a spiritual awakening. God made me for this man, and he preserved me because I was able to be preserved all these years for him. Because I was with women.
Hey, Tuts, you need to come home.
Yes.
When I start up the blue couch, you're gonna have to be one of my guests because I'm gonna have.
And I'm gonna bring him to your show.
Yeah,
I promise you're gonna get an exclusive.
Yeah, I need that.
You're gonna get an exclusive.
I need that because that's gonna be the blue couch, and I got a couple of celebrities that's gonna be coming on that show too. So we're gonna put that together good.
Okay.
So yeah, Mack Mama.
Yes. AKA Coach Coco.
Right. Coach Coco.
Yes.
AKA Queen Tut.
AKA Queen Tut. That's my new moniker. I think I'm gonna write a book underneath that too. I'm gonna write our love story under Queen Tut.
And she ain't got to get locked up to write it.
I know. It's so hard for me to write in the free world. That's sad. Because there's so many distractions.
You know what?
I'm
gonna give you one right now. Because here's the thing.
Yes.
You ain't gotta be locked up. You gotta be locked in.
Ooh.
You feel me? There's one book that stuck out to me, and it's called Erotic Stories that will ignite sparks in your relationships.
Yeah.
Now, when I think of erotic, I'm going back to when I was a kid and I used to turn on the TV and they used to have them late night HBO shows. Just like that. That's erotica.
Yeah,
right?
well,
but so
okay, here's the deal. Mm-hmm. Say you and your girl are having problems in your relationship on the intimate side, right? And you reached out to me. I'm your life coach, and y'all want to do a relationship session with couples, right? I would suggest to you to read this book together. Now, in the book, there's short stories, right? But each story is erotic story. So when you read the book, it's intended to arouse you, to bring back the spark in your relationship, in terms of in the bedroom. Not in terms of any other problems that you may be having, but in terms of if you need to become aroused.
What you trying to say if your meat don't work?
Not if it don't work, but just say, it's something interactive. It's an interactive book. So in the back of the book, it's a journal portion where I give suggestions on through Monday through Sunday on what days, you check in. Okay, I may have, wanted to, bring in another partner. I wanted to do a 3-way. I had an orgy. He gave me head. And you check in. You write these things down.
I gotta write down. Hey.
No, it's an interactive book. That's why I suggest. Now you guys can listen to me read the book.
Sound like evidence because I'm gonna write down the time when we had this damn threesome.
When you do it, I'm just giving an example.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, it's great for you guys to actually get the actual hardcover book, the physical book, because then you'll get the journal portion. But if you just want to hear me narrate the stories, which is awesome, because I really sound erotic when I'm telling the stories, so it's good. You can listen with your partner and really kind of get off on my voice. Then you go to audiobooks and then you get the audiobooks. You get the audiobooks, but you also have to have the actual physical book so you can get the journal portion of it. And it's called Erotic Stories.
Got any pictures in it?
That will ignite sparks in your relationship by Coach Coco. But I suggest if you're having any type of problems, but even if you're not having problems, you just want something new and fun to do in your relationship, then get that book and listen to me spit that erotica.
So you on the red couch with Bern, and we sitting here with Coach Coco, aka Mack Mama, aka Queen Tut.
Yes.
Right? And she has written so many books, and she's an author. Everything you could imagine, an entertainer, and a good friend. That's what I could call her. I could call her a good friend. Right? And one of the books that stuck out to me was How to Survive the Loss of a Loved One. I lost 3-4 people in the last year. That's why y'all don't see me too much. And a lot of people don't know, as a cameraman and as a photographer, videographer, I actually film a lot of people and become close with them, and I have to look at those people after they passed, and it becomes like a thing in my mind where I've known so many people that passed, like through all the pictures, and I see people post my pictures that I take, like R.I.P. to this person, R.I.P. to, and I'm sitting there looking like, damn, I took a picture of that person, and I'm going down the rabbit hole looking at these people, and not to tell this whole story, but one of my best friends that I recently just lost, he lived all the way in Jersey, and I didn't really go see him that much, right? I didn't go see him that much, and this is the importance of seeing your true friends and being around your true friends. You should do it all the time, and I didn't really go see him, and one day he called me, he said, yo bro, you alienated me, man. He said, I got cancer, man. And the day that I went to see him, he died when I left.
Wow.
He died when I left. The last thing that he said to me, he's like, yo bro, how can I watch your show on the TV? And I put the TV on, and we sat there for a little bit and watched it. When I left, that was it. And
well, I know
it's like, it's kind of feel like he's stuck around.
Yeah, it feels good at least that you had that moment with him, though.
Right, it does. I don't feel so bad.
You know how I feel about death.
Before, yeah.
You know how I feel about death, and then I'm gonna explain the purpose of the book and how I wrote the book and why I wrote the book. But how I feel about death is that I feel like we need to learn about accepting death, like we learn math and reading, science, and any other subject in school, because death is inevitable. We're all going to die.
Happen.
It's going to happen.
We're
all going to die. And some people in other cultures, people celebrate death because they're more accepting of death. It only seems like in America that it takes us, it just grips us so hard, and we go through so many stages of grief. But in other countries and other cultures, they celebrate death, and it's just a way of life. You know what I mean? And I feel like we have to start being more accepting of death and valuing the time that we have on this earth.
Right, because the time that you spend here, if you believe in afterlife or anything, the time that you spend here dictates your afterlife.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, whether you're religion and you believe in heaven or hell, or whether you just believe that there's an afterlife and you just want to be a part of it in a positive way. Or if you don't believe in nothing, you're an atheist. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in how you got here. You just feel like you just here because of science. That's your belief. That's your belief. But the bottom line is, while you're here, what are you going to do with your time? Because you're not going to be here forever. So you got to make this time count.
Live it up.
You got to live it up. One of the things that I got from my best friend, I took care of her and I speak of her. She's the reason why I wrote this book. Queenie.
Okay.
She is the reason why I wrote this book. She wanted me to write this book, How to Survive the Loss of a Loved One. She's one of the people that I talk about how I was a caretaker for her. She passed away when she was 49 years old from cancer. And I asked her, I said, what's one of your regrets in life? And she said, I regret not having more fun. I've chased money all my life, and all I thought about was the next project, the next business deal, the next...
Well, I don't want to cut you off on that, but do you think that is because she had to do that?
Regardless whether she had to do it or not, her point was, I'm not getting into what you had to do. The point was the lady regretted it at 49 years old while she was dying. That was her regret, that she didn't enjoy her life. That was profound to me. And once she passed away, I vowed that I would enjoy my time on this earth. I don't let nothing bother me. I don't get stressed out. I mean, of course you get stressed out little things, natural but I'm talking about I don't let it prolong. I snaps out of it. If God lets me breathe and wake up that next morning, I'm off to a whole different ball game because I'm just so happy to be alive and to be here. I am grateful for my life. A lot of people, let me tell you why I know people aren't grateful, because they sit there and they drink and they smoke and they do drugs and they eat fried chicken every day and they eat macaroni and cheese. I'm serious.
Yeah, I know.
They destroy their organs.
That's correct.
And they destroy their bodies, and then they wonder why they smoke cigarettes, and they wonder why I got cancer, I got high blood pressure, I got diabetes. Well, guess what? All of that could have been avoided. I eat two times a day.
If you would have enjoyed your life.
I done did everything I can to make my life, my existence, my body last longer. You know what I'm saying? Because, I do want to exercise, and I do exercise moderately, but I needed help. Let me do things to prolong my body, to help it last. You know what I'm saying? And that's my way. But also nutrition. I watch what I eat. I watch what I put inside my body. I don't smoke. I drink sociably, wine. I used to drink a little bit heavier, and I stopped the hard liquors, and now I'll do wine on occasion. Because you do want to have your pleasures in life. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying cut it all out. I'm saying do it in moderation.
Drink. I don't even like drinking.
And think about, every day I think about mortality. I think about if I eat it, baby, when you watch people die in front of you. I've watched my best friend take her last breath at 49 years old. It will change your perception of life.
Yeah, I've been going to the gym for the last 30 days. I got a gym in the building.
Yeah, that's great.
And I'm working out.
Do whatever you have to do.
I got a little,
it's more nutrition.
Right
even
there.
if you can't get to the gym. I tell people this all the time when I do my life coaching, because I'm also a nutritional coach as well. Because I'm a certified physical trainer.
So it's not only about going to the gym. You have to make sure
it's what you eat. It's what you eat.
Like they say, you always
intermediate fasting. Whoever's listening to this, I would advise you to Google intermediate fasting and start doing it. Food will kill you. If you don't eat the right foods, you are going to die quicker than you are supposed to die. And that's just reality.
That's right. I'm reading a book right now by Michio Kaku, and it's about quantum physics. And in that book, they talk about the person who originated the way that humans could live longer, because years ago, or a long time ago, there was only about 1 million people on Earth. And this guy in the 1700s, he invented a way to take nitrogen out the air to enhance the foods that we eat. Right? And in that enhancement, they was able to... When
you say enhance... They made
the soil, so they made.
But was it organic, or this is modified food?
Right. So 50% of what we eat now is modified or enhanced.
Well, that's why I only eat organic. Anyway.
This is the thing. But you also have to go back to see how the soil is from what grows. You see what I'm saying? So even though we might be eating things that are organic from the ground, what is the soil that it comes from? You see what I'm saying? And so he invented a way for us to live longer. This is all I'm trying to say, is that now humans live longer, and we also can
But we're regressing now. We're not living longer.
Right.
We're regressing now.
I'm going to agree on that.
After whatever they pumped into this universe with this COVID pandemic, we are dying now at 50
Let's talk
and
about that
45, 50, 60 years old.
Yeah. Have you noticed that there's a lot of people that are now at the age of 50 through 55, around that area, that's just passing away?
Yes, I've noticed, and it's happening because of those people are like that. They don't want to hear this shit, and I don't blame you. But I didn't take I knew that was population control. I'm just sorry. They're killing us. They started with the and then they continued on.
Like nobody from saying anything about this particular thing right now.
Why would they say? They're not going to say anything.
Well, not forget about the government then. There's not. We talking about it right now, and we're gonna blow this up. But there's not a lot of people talking about the passing of a lot of people right now. Like nobody's really talking. There's a couple of internet personalities,
and they're like, "Oh, they such and such just passed," and nobody's never. Remember back in the days when somebody died, it was always the reason why.
Oh,
now it's so mysterious now.
You see it on Facebook, people passing, nobody saying, yo, my boy died because of this.
Baby, I just personally feel like it's now maybe it's not, but that's my diagnosis.
I told my boy too, I said, listen, because he the one that I was talking about that died from cancer. Now if I show you a picture of this dude, the dude, I'm secure with my manhood. He looked good, man. A lot of ladies loved him. Big dude, worked out all the time in the gym, all day, brown eyes, green hazel, all of that. And he was a ladies' man. But every time I was on the phone with him, like in the morning, he'd be like, hold on 1 second, bro. Let me get 2 cheeseburgers, let me get some fries, let me get extra mayonnaise. I used to be like, yo, bro, why are you ordering that stuff for? You just came out the gym. Yo, bro, I be working out. So, in thinking about that, I'm like, wow.
That meat is a killer, too.
Yeah. Oh, McDonald's, all that stuff.
I don't eat fast food at all. I don't eat fast food
I'm happy my daughter sees McDonald's and goes.
If you see a lot of older women that are in their 70s that look amazing and they work out, they're all vegetarians. They're all vegetarians.
I know a lot of them now. A lot of vegans.
A lot of vegans. So I'm trying to go in that direction. I just left chicken alone, but I do like seafood. I love fish, But I'm trying to go in the vegetarian direction. But let me finish saying this before I lose my train of thought. With How to Survive the Loss of a Loved One, it's a story. It's a book about. And it has, again, because all my self-help books are interactive, so it has a journal portion. So if you are a caretaker and you're taking care of somebody with cancer, you're taking care of somebody that has Alzheimer's, you might be taking care of somebody that was, diagnosed with a fatal disease, virus, whatever it may be. I wrote this book for you guys because I share my stories of how I took care of my grandmother before she died, which they say she. I don't believe it, but she was still an elderly lady. I took care of Queenie, my best friend. She died of cancer. I took care of my godmother that raised me. She had Alzheimer's. I took care of my mom. She passed away from the AIDS virus. So I share my stories and my experiences, but I also is a portion in the book where if you are going through that like real time, then now you can have a journal where you can write the medications down that you have to, give your people, the doctor's appointment dates. You write that down in the calendar portion, and you write how you're feeling that day, because a lot of people don't realize that the caretakers suffer too.
The caretakers suffer
too. I
too.
almost killed myself.
On that note, I got a good idea to get this salutation going. Let's get the dogs. Hold on. You get your dog, I'm gonna get my dog. We gonna sit on camera with the dogs to end this shit.
They can find me on I am Coach Coco on Instagram. I am Mack Mama, MackMama on Instagram. But more importantly, go to my website, CoachCocoCares.com, so you can book a session with me, or you can buy my books personally from me. You get an autographed copy sent to you, or you can find the books on Amazon and the audio books on audiobooks. Coach Coco, you'll hear me narrating the stories to you. But I do suggest that you get the hard copies as well, because it's an interactive book and you want to have the journal portions. And all three of my books are interactive, because even in How to Survive Incarceration from a woman's perspective, you have a portion in the back where if you are incarcerated, you can journal. There's suggestions on how to get through your day. It's really, really dope. I love how I put my books together.
Right. She helps with all types of addictions too. So if you're addicted to food, you addicted to porn, you're addicted to eating paper.
Wait. Or if you need a life coach, a grief coach. I have a lot of clients that are going through the 5 stages of grief. If you need a relationship coach with you and your partner, I'm your girl. If you need a nutritional coach, I'm a certified physical trainer and nutritionist. So I coach in so many different areas. It's not just one area, but overall, I'm a life coach. So holla at your girl.
That's
you know,
right.
I've been through the ringer. I've been through so many different stages in my life. I will also coach you on how to reinvent yourself.
That's right.
And
we spoke about that.
I feel like life experiences is far surpasses academia. So if you want to get somebody that really can relate to what you're going through, I am your girl. Holla at me.
That's right. Red
Coach
Couch
Coco.
with Burn. I thank you for stopping here.
I thank you for having me.
Thank you very much. We out.